Where'd the radio go? Hey, what happened? My bench has got nothing on it. Oh, I see what happened. It's back in its radio cabinet. Look at this cabinet. Look at this guy. This is a big one. It's a big cabinet, no doubt about it. Take a look at that. Wow. Okay, isn't that something? Now you can see the grill cloth has been changed with a black cloth. See, it's really fancy woodwork in front there. It's great, eh? One button is pushed. That's why you see that button pushed in. It's not broken or anything like that. Okay, let's take another look at this cabinet here. This cabinet is in fantastic condition. Now you might be looking at it and going, no, it's not. It's kind of wrecked up, isn't it? Scratched up. Not really. Not really. Okay, at a glance, the cabinet looks beat up. But on closer inspection, it's only a particular kind of trim that's been used. Right in this area, okay, all around the edges, it's very common that in this area, they will paint this a slightly darker brown than the top. And all that. The top, the rest of the wood here is in great shape. This is the part that you want to worry about if it looks bad. Not this. This is easy to fix. Spend an hour, a couple hours, maybe over a couple of days, scraping out all this paint here down to bare wood, and then repaint this. Wow, this radio will look brand new when it's done. Fantastic. Same sort of thing on this part. This part's not damaged much. Has a little bit of a scratch there. Beautiful. Hey, I guess you want to know if it works. So do I. So, why don't we turn it on? Let me turn down the lights first. That's fantastic. Okay, let's switch on. Now, just before I switch it on, the rumbling you're hearing is a dryer running in the next room. It's not coming from the radio at all. Just try to ignore that. Here we go. Okay, let me turn out this light here too. There. And you can see the front dial. The bright green light is the band indicator, and above it is the magic eye, which is not quite on yet. Here it comes. Now, it may not be visible in the camera, but in a room dark like this is a fairly dark room now. I can see it standing here. I can see the eye standing. I can see that it's open. Let's turn it up here. What do we got? So I'm on the 19 meter band, tuned somewhere around 15.2. Now let's tune it. There's no external antenna connected. I'd be surprised if we pick up anything. It's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Something there. Okay, let's try another band here. Try to operate the radio in the dark. We'll try the 17 to 22 band. 17 megahertz to 22. Pointers here now. Again, not too likely to hear anything here. Turn it up. Let's try the AM band. Oh man. Okay, all the way to AM. AM band. Now we're on that loop antenna for sure that's in the back of this radio. The loop antenna, which actually has a control. Can you see the knob? That actually rotates the big antenna inside this cabinet. Let's get something tuned in here.
less focused on the column. So what's my perspective on it? I mean, you're grouping me in here with a bunch of real idiots here.
Horrible for 3 quarters, and I disagree with that. I think the Raptors played absolute trash ball for the first quarter. Wash.
Well, I mean,
see how important it is to tune the antenna, turn the
antenna. It's just a
antenna.
wash. They played equal basketball. So, from a fan's perspective, to think that your Raptors got destroyed for 3 quarters,
Now,
leaves it in like a
the pointer's on
different
here. The pointer's on here. I just set it on the string. I put it where I thought it should be, but I'm just guessing at it. But I wonder how close it really is, because I think we're listening to 640, and this is sitting right around 640.
I will concede that you are right. That they did not.
For any future prospects and sellers.
That's 680 at 7. 640 at 670.
Remember what your name is, and I mentioned it about 90 seconds ago.
This is 590. Okay, so
If you want to check my
590.
camera, you're going to lose.
I'll check this out.
But I will. I mean, look, yeah, they were about a wash overall. I think they got it down
I don't know if you can see the
say
pointer or
3
not.
at one point, and
Voila.
Indiana went on a run. And then they pecked it down, and then Indiana went on another run.
590.
Well, which is what happens in basketball.
Okay, let's see if 1010 is where it should be. 680. 740. Wait on. I don't even know what that is. Don't know the frequency of that. It's picking up lots of stuff. Okay, so here we are, come up on 1010. May not pick it up. Not gonna get it. But 680. Where'd you all go? I really need that antenna aimed properly. It's pretty whopping on the bass too. That's a tone. Now the pointer may have slid on the string because I haven't fixed it down. I haven't glued it in or anything. But once I'm satisfied with the position of the pointer, I'll glue it. For now, I don't care too much about it. Fantastic. And this is down in my shop here. Okay, I'm not up above ground. Let's try this 25 meter band again. 25 meter band. So the 25 meter band is 11 megahertz. I'm sure it's receiving. It's just there's nothing there to hear right now. So we'll go up a band, try it again. I'd like to hear one thing, short wave here. No luck comes a response, but that's okay. Fantastic. So I'll turn it off. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move this radio into my office where I have some excellent radios, a great antenna, all that kind of stuff. and we're gonna give it a real test. But I'm not gonna do it till this evening because I'm in the middle of the day right now, and this is not a very good time to listen to shortwave. But I'm sure if you put this on a proper antenna, wow, this guy is going to be great. That's what I think. And that big whopping speaker, you can't beat it for producing big sound from a big speaker. And this guy's got a big amplifier in it. It's got the 2 tubes really pounding it out into the speaker. Maybe we'll do, well, I've turned it off already. I was going to say maybe we should try these buttons and see if any one of them hits a station, but that's not very likely. And incidentally, the station numbers on here are a little historical in a way. You probably can't see them from where you are. But the first button is a phono button, so you push that and anything you want to feed into the back of this is going to come out of the speaker. So your little iPod, stuff like that's going to be great. WGR, CKCL, CBL, CFRB, CHML, WBEN, and CBY. Okay, so the 2 American stations here, WGR, I think that's in New York City, and WBEN is coming out of Buffalo, I'm pretty sure. And both of them are within range of Toronto, where this radio probably was spending most of its time. And the rest of these, CBL is an old CBC station, it's no longer on the air. CFRB, Canadian F Radio Batteryless. This is one of the earliest stations put on the air in North America, certainly in Canada. And it was at the time where you had to put in, you had to set up if you're going to sell radios, you had to have a transmitter going too, or who's going to buy your radio if you don't have a transmitter? So that's how far back that goes. CFRB is still on the air. That's the 1010 station I was trying to pick up. And CFRB, I could tell you more about that, but I won't. CHML was out of Hamilton. I think it's still operating too. So there we go anyway. Very cool stuff. Real happy. Can't wait to hear this guy going in my office. So hey, let's get there. Well, it'll be tonight. Well, hi, thanks for joining me here in my office. We're going to be checking out this radio, which I just finished repairing and tuning up and putting a string on it and everything like that. And we're going to be comparing this big old guy to this guy, who actually looks small in comparison, but this is actually a fairly large radio too. This is a Hammarlund SP-600. Some would consider it the best radio ever made. Right above it is another radio. This one's not switched on. This is a Collins R390A. It's also considered by some people to be the best radio ever made. And just to keep going here, I've also got a Satellite 800, which is a really nice transistorized modern radio. It's nice because it's nice and big. And then behind me here, what you can't see, is a signal generator I was working on in my shop, and a frequency counter hooked up to it. That helps me tune these non-digital radios, tune them precisely. But the one thing about this big radio, is it has a very large band spread on a couple of bands, on the 9 megahertz band, the 11 megahertz band, and the 15 too, all 3 of them. There's a small amount of spectrum here stretched across the radio, so fantastic for tuning. It's got a couple other bands that are scrunched, like most shortwave radios have scrunched bands, much harder to tune. So the thing about the band spread is that with the radio reasonably aligned, you can actually read the frequency right off the panel here. Try that on your basic tube shortwave radio that doesn't have a spread band on it, that has a large amount of spectrum in a small dial, like my other one over here, like my own radio right over here. That little guy there, yeah, he's got one shortwave band and it goes from real low to real high, and it is real challenging. In fact, you can't ever know where you're tuned. So let's just get this aimed up here a little bit. Okay, now the fact is I shot this whole video just a few minutes ago, for the last half hour, 35 minutes, and then discovered I hadn't clicked record, so I'm doing it over again. So let's just start with this guy. In fact, I think I'm going to move the camera in a little closer on him. Here we go. Hang on tight. Hang on tight. There we go. Let's just listen to this guy. Now he's hooked up to a nice outdoor antenna. One I just put up. Actually, I put up a while ago. I just extended it. And so it's a big antenna. So what we'll do is we'll start on the highest band, and we'll just work our way down. Now on the highest band, this is evening around 9:30. The highest band is going to be dead. Let's check it out. Let's just check it out here. So this is the 13 to 16 meter band, 17 megahertz to 22. I don't think we're going to hear a thing. Okay, well, nothing worth listening to there, so we'll drop down to the 19 meter band. That's 15 megahertz again. We're too late in the evening here to hear anything. Let's see. Nothing. Okay, fine, and that's what I expected. Now let's go down to the 25 meter band. 25 meter band is 11 megahertz to 12. 11.7 to 12. We'll probably hear something on this one. Sounds nice, but I can't let music play or I'm going to get a copyright problem. But that was 11,800. Same thing in two spots. A strong carrier there, but no. Oh, there's something there. Okay. All right. Now we'll try the 31 meter band, 9 megahertz. It should be pretty good. There should be lots of stuff on it. Let's see. It, you know, it changes. You never know. Oh.
En 1996 testificó ante la Comisión de Derechos Humanos de la ONU en Ginebra, denunciando nuevamente violaciones cometidas en Cuba. Sebastián Marcos Bernes,
That's Radio Cuba.
falleció en Miami el 22
test always reflect the most stringent answer, because in theory, China has very strict traffic laws. Now, if your native language is anything besides English or Chinese, we recommend you take the test in English or Chinese. This is because the translation of the test into other languages is still quite poor.
Now, almost certainly, this is Radio China.
So if you speak French or German, just use the English test. It's just better. Now, although driving in China seems crazy, it's actually safer than expected. This is because our drivers are very
Talking about China.
They are watching the movements of every
Now, it doesn't mean that signal is coming from China. In fact, let's find out where it's coming from.
You know, have I played China in America before? Yes. Because I wasn't paying it.
Okay, just relying on the dial here. 11.75, 11.8. 11.75, 11.76, 11.77, so probably 11.76. So I do have a digital radio right over here. Let's just try 11.760. Out of view of you, but that's okay. Just nope.
Chinese test, from what I can tell, is quite difficult, and I can't read that they're using the written test
No.
So
9 point.
difficulty of
Looking on the wrong.
stuff that's not particularly understandable.
Wrong
So
band.
I did a little searching around on the internet, and
9.55,
it turns out
9.6,
that
9.55,
don't have a driving
5.6,
license of their
5.7,
own
probably
is
9.56.
to go to a country close to China, like South Korea or Japan. It's best to go to a foreign country and then come back to China and take the written test.
Really good idea over there. So I think, let's talk about more about
It's actually 9570.
I think a lot of people say driving in China is actually kind of fun.
Now you're listening to the
started irritating as they are in America, and because red light violations, there are little repercussions for other transgressions. However, both truck drivers become more law-abiding as the future goes on. So do you guys think it is safe to drive here?
I drive, but I don't think it's quite safe to drive here for
I'll
foreigners.
switch back to that one.
My knowledge of Beijing, I would say the roads and the blocks.
I am a law-abiding driver. I don't drive unruly.
No, but that's the thing, Minji. I could imagine, because you know that with driving, some people can actually be at risk if they're overly cautious. If they're
Yes, that's right.
Farrell would agree with that.
Yeah.
And you could imagine Minjing behind the wheel, whacking her little thing, and I imagine that you're focusing too much on what other people are doing wrong, that you might not focus on your own car, and that could potentially present an accident.
You are tarnishing my name
Okay.
as a driver.
Alright, so now let's talk about
Okay, so I'm checking on the internet here.
the license plate. It is a headache in Shanghai as it is in Beijing. So in Shanghai, getting a license plate is an auction, so you need to rely on luck to get it.
That's a
The auction
little better.
process is quite daunting. You need to buy an auction ticket. And in a
9570.
3-month period, you'll have to get a chance to win a car plate. But if you don't get any, you'll need to start again. It is a total thing.
Okay, so on 9570 right now, there are two broadcasts. I know you really can't see my screen here, but one of them is Radio China, and the other one is China National Radio. So both China, one in English, one in Chinese. That's English. So we're on the English one. The English one is coming to us from, oh boy, hard for me to tell. Can you in any way see that there's a world map on my computer screen? No, I'm not going to be able to make that show up. Okay, so it's either coming from Western Europe or deep in the middle of China. Almost certainly it's the Western Europe transmitter. So after all, if China wants to broadcast English, they want to broadcast it to English-speaking people, so they're going to broadcast it to North America or into Europe. That's what they're going to do. So they have could be using this transmitter located in Europe to actually transmit to North America. We may be their target audience here.
To do this, go to www.djhyz.gov.cn and fill out the application. The approved application will be kept.
China is extremely active on shortwave. They utilize it heavily in their domestic services, and at the same time they have transmitters in different places of the world, and they rent time on transmitters various countries trade time back and forth on their transmitters, so each country can reach further around the world by using a transmitter that's local to the area that they want to contact. Canada used to broadcast shortwave until the previous government shut down the broadcasting. I think that was a savings of around $2.5 million a year or something like that. Not much money for a country the size of Canada. They shut down the service, but the transmitters are still going, and guess what's on them? Radio China. So we stopped, look, I'd be a little political here. We stopped talking to the world and decided to try to make some money. I think that's kind of what happened there. It's very disappointing to me, of course, because since I know that a third of the world gets its news from shortwave radio. Believe it? A third of the world. Certainly not North America.
Get your ideal car. You have to
Here it is again.
No.
We're going this way, weren't we? Very weak. Kind of sounds like China again. Well, the conditions aren't as good tonight as they have been the last couple of nights. Now let's just tune the same thing using the big Hammarlund radio here, and we'll see what we get. Now this guy's hooked up to some big speakers, so he's got pretty good sound too.
David wasn't there dreaming about how can I be the next king. That's on my goal list.
So we want to go to 9.5 here.
When he's telling me
So this is what this radio can pick up. That's actually below the range of the big one. So the big one couldn't get this.
Very silly, but sometimes go out on the weekend. I think
That's 9.5.
kind of relax on the weekend
Let's see.
or a private car from DB or a taxi. You guys ever do that? No, I use the subways, but I mean I have used Uber. It's very convenient. It's very nice. What about
9570. It's the same thing we were listening to before.
Exactly. But you can argue my point here that even though you're slow, you would prefer to keep it driving yourself at the consequences. I think the views that you do with public transportation corner. Who use public transportation from 70, but private transportation.
China's broadcasting on 2 frequencies here, but the program is about a quarter of a second out of sync. So
people in Beijing rely on a survey plate.
Which means they need to renew their plate or their permission to enter Beijing every single year.
9570, 955, 956, 957.
There are not allowed to drive into
Close,
the
very
five
close.
roads of Beijing on weekdays between 7 a.m. and 8 p.m. Here's the thing.
If you want to get caught, go be caught.
Let's keep going here.
Just be quiet. It's a pain to be
Scottscellare, Indre, P-ouche. Le chien entre par la porte. Ici,
Yes, sir.
Now,
P terrestre.
le chat sort par la fenêtre.
No.
so the band on this radio is 9.5 to 9.7. On my Hammarlund, if I can get it over here, you're never going to be able to see it. 9.5 to 9.7 is about that much on the radio band. I mean, it's not nothing here. I'll show you. This is 5. This is 7. It's barely 2 times around on the knob. All that stuff that's on this radio in in that same range is packed into this little area. And that's what makes tuning that big radio so nice. Okay, last thing we'll try here. Let's try the AM band on this big old radio. Remember, I got another 45 minutes of experience with it that I didn't video properly. So.
Rush hours for weekdays. But if you don't happen to drop during rush hours, you might...
Well, we should do one thing further. On the B band at the top is 6 megahertz. Oh, by the way, a good lesson on dial glass. This radio is a good example of dial glass problems. The dial glass is perfect on this radio. There's no problem here. But most of these dial glasses, they have the printing printed on the back of the glass. That's certainly the case with this one. The odd one has printing on the front. That's certainly the case with this one. This one has printing on the front and the back of the glass. All this green stuff you see, all the green is on the front. All of it. I can feel it with my finger. What that means is, you gotta be a little careful when you're cleaning these things. Now, this guy, I know this radio, I've seen so many of them. These stand up really well. But I have had a radio, and I wanted to clean the back of the glass. And I was being as careful as I could. And one swipe across it, I smeared a bunch of the numbers. Yeah, so, and you know what? Ruin the glass, ruin the radio. That's how it goes. So, okay, enough preaching. B band, up around 6. Just up in here.
Honest with me, cool. Just be honest, be short, be curt, that's all you need to do.
Okay, Ninjing, the point I'm trying to draw up from this story, Well Done Run was a very good, interesting story, fantastic impersonation of an American police officer.
Yes.
Ninjing, what would you say is the best way to talk to police officers in China if you're caught breaking the law?
The point is, I've never...
More China. Okay, so just this little area here.
Got Facebook? Follow The Harvest Show. And we'll share your opinions on current events.
Watch the most inspiring guest interview right here.
That's a religious broadcast from the States. Stepping there, it's a that's the overcomer, I think. And the Overcomer Ministry. One of the interesting things that is going on shortwave these days, and some of you may take this the wrong way, is there's an awful lot of religious broadcasting coming out of the super religious United States, the overly religious United States. And I was listening to a little bit of it. I do not enjoy listening to it, to be very frank with you. I get pretty upset, especially with the kinds of things that are broadcast these days. It is really harrowing, and the reason I'm even willing to talk about this on my videos, many of you are watching me fix radios, you're probably into a little bit of shortwave. I encourage Americans to listen to shortwave, listen to some of these religious stations if you're not, and hear what is being suggested in your country. And it's harrowing. Okay, it's harrowing. There is a war going on, a social war going on in the United States. It's fairly apparent these days because of what's going on politically, but there's another one going on. Anyway, I'm talking too much, so I'm going to stop at this point. But wow, listen to the radio, decide for yourself what you want to think about what is going on. I will say one last thing. Nobody listens to shortwave, right? North America? Yeah. A third of the world? Yes. North America? Canada, United States? No. No one's listening. So it's a great place to broadcast your message to your crowd and have most people not be aware at all that anything's being said. So if you're getting my message, I'm saying very strongly, find out what is being said on these radio stations, because it is harrowing. Okay? It's all politics. I'm not talking about the religious side of it. The political side of it is harrowing, especially to me up here in Canada. So anyway, there we go. That's enough. I think it's enough. I got a little carried away there. Started getting preachy. Don't want to get preachy. Nobody wants to hear me preach. So anyway, oh, the AM. Yeah. AM radio. Oh boy, I almost forgot. Almost forgot. What will this thing do on AM? Okay, we'll start up at the top here. Now, it has a steerable antenna. Makes a little bit of difference on that. WLS. WLS is a very famous AM station out of the States. I'm just going to take off the outdoor antenna. Sorry about that. I'm showing you the wrong side of me there.
Are you someone who suffers from serious back pain? Today, write down this phone number.
59-5.
You have serious pain in your neck.
Call 1-888-59-5.
So I disconnected the external antenna. The radio is working better now with just the loop antenna.
Call 1-888-59-5.
Serious back pain causes stress.
Hey, speak of the devil. Yeah, now it's working much better.
That's an awful long time to stay in sync with your delivery. Infield looking for a double play ground ball. Radio show in Seattle called Out of This World Radio, and I had a program on Zika virus about a month ago.
Much better.
Do that before the first strike. Doesn't really make sense.
In our full-scale
tons of stuff.
Free lifetime. We just undercover. Hey, come on. Show presented by live from the corner alley on East 4th Street downtown on ESPN 850 WKNR.
WKNR. So there was nothing there. Barely, just some noise. And just turning that antenna and getting it right, in comes the station. Great radio.
TVs. Absolutely. Six, and that ended up creating a pretty big threat.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. I was a little worried there at first. It didn't seem to be receiving well at all on AM until I took off the external antenna and bingo. Great radio. Great radio. Lots of fun. And the whole time the magic eye, which is hidden right in here, it's a little bit faint, so I can't really see it on camera. And you have to actually look a little bit to spot it. It's kind of weird that they put it there, as opposed to having it mounted, you know, right here or somewhere else. That would be a lot more visible than up there. But there we go. There's the radio. I think it's working really well. I think it's and all these radios can work this well once they're fixed up. Fantastic. Okay, well, thanks so much for watching, and too bad the 9 megahertz band wasn't hopping tonight like it was the last couple nights. So that's it. On to the next thing, the next project. Guess what? The next project is sitting on my shop bench waiting for me right now. Thanks so much for watching.